And action! Welcome everybody, this is the Unknown Epic, and I will be here today to kind of show you a little bit about my personal play style when it comes to the Wraith. It'll be the first video in a series that I'll be doing showing you how I play each killer. So I will be showcasing two separate games. And I don't really want to give away the ending for either of them. However, I will say the last one, the one you do not want to miss, ends with a dead sprint with me and the survivor both heading towards the exit gate that's already been opened. It is a nail biter you do not want to miss, and it has a hilarious ending that you will not want to miss. But without further ado, I'll go ahead and let you get into it. The first one here is at the Midwich School, as you can see, and I am the Wraith, so I'm gonna come over here and break this door down immediately, kind of get some easy access, and getting a little bit of lag, but I'm gonna move over here as well, kind of scout the area out, break any more obnoxious doors. I think there'll be one up here on the, yep, right here. I'll go ahead and break this as well. And as you can see, I'm just kind of looking around, trying to find an easy hit, and I find some people on this gen now. Felix has ran off, but Jane wants me to give her a lovely smack. I was gonna go and chase her, but I'm gonna kind of, as you know, Wraith is a leave, hit and run tactic style killer, so instead I'm going to actually follow her by accident. We didn't even realize that that was her, but I do know Felix is upstairs still. So I'm gonna go ahead and break this door though, for ease of access later. Hopefully it'll probably come into play here in a bit, but I do find a Felix, and now he's going to just kind of shift W away, and as you can tell, it's kind of going to be a theme for Felix throughout this this episode. Get a hit on him and kind of continue on, try to cut him off, but he went right instead. Now with this loop, I kind of fake it out and come around with a max lunge and get him a hit, and up he goes. See there at that loop, you can easily fake him around and get a complete down from either side. Go ahead and kick this, and I do know someone's upstairs in that gen, but unfortunately I won't be able to make it up there in time. I'm gonna go ahead and break down this door and go up and break down the other one for smooth of access. I'm moving up, but as you can tell, yep, I did not make it in time. However, there is going to be an ace that I run into right here. Now what I should have done is gone in front of him to slow him down. But I do make up for it here. I can just kind of catch up. A little bit of waste of time, but I do get a hit. Now, as you can see, I want you to pay attention. Ace runs into that room. There's only two things he can do. He can either stay up at the top of the room or assume I'm coming in and jump down the hole. So I come around the other way, knowing that they're going to be down there healing by the hook, and here is an ace rounding the corner as expected. I down him and pressure them from healing under hook at the same time. It's all about map presence and map awareness. You go ahead and put him up on the hook and back away. I'm expecting to be able to catch them out, potentially running this way, but I did not. Now, if you can see in the distance, there was the Jeff you could see actually running up the stairs. So I'm going to chase him up. These are the scratch marks that he left. And Felix, though, has already came and jumped on the gen. Now I try to hope that he went to this side, but he didn't. He stayed on the right side. He needed to, but I do get a break a pallet and continue on my adventure, and hurting him. And I do check up here. It was worth it if he was up here, but unfortunately he wasn't, and I did waste some time. And a gen popped. So at this point, I'm kind of don't have anywhere specifically to go until I notice that there are two people healing in the courtyard, and I know there's a hole up here. So I'm going to come in from the top rope with the people's elbow, and I miss. But I do surprise them so much that I'm able to get an easy down on Jeff in the process. Not Jeff, excuse me, Jake. But this, as you can tell, is also the perfect thing you're wanting. You're wanting both the God pallet down and a hit on the Jeff. That is the ideal. But you get to come back over here and get a Jane who has 0 map awareness. Get her down as well, and just in time for a Jeff that has 0 map awareness. And you get him down as well. And you 1, and a 2, and a 3. All 3 of them picked up and hooked. However, as you can soon tell, Jane is not on the hook for long. She gets down immediately, which is the smart move for Felix. Felix, as you can tell later, is a bit of a selfish player. So I am surprised that he got her then, but it was very, very nice for him to do. Here, I'm going to go and try to get to Felix right here, but he throws down the pallet a little early, as you just heard. I'm going to hope he's running out to the back. He doesn't. He sees by the pallet and jumps over it. So the best thing I can do is break the god pallet and leave the situation. Now, someone just got unhooked over here, so I'm assuming they're going to be coming to this one to unhook as well, and they do. Waited up the dead hard just in case she had it, pick her up, and put her right back on the hook, knowing she doesn't have DS. Now I can just kind of follow the scratch marks that are here. Should I go and check one of the other gens? I do in the same time. Jeff is running up to it. I'm wanting to go after the Felix, I'm not wanting to tunnel the Jeff, but as you can just tell, by the end, Felix used the dead hard to make it to the window, leaving Jeff completely exposed. And up he goes to hang out right there, jumping down just perfectly for a Jake here, or Ace, excuse me. I kind of bait the window, and Ace gets down. And luckily, I did break that door earlier, which leads me to be able to get that down that quickly and play that little mind game right there. Now I can go back up and check the gen that he's on, but I did look up there, which was the mistake. It gave the Felix time to use his spine shield to realize where he's going. Now watch right here. This is where he's selfish. The Jeff ran to the other side, and Felix trapped him in to get him killed. Throw it down immediately. Now I do have a Jeff here on the ground, and I realize I can honestly probably just chase around the Felix and give it a little bit of time to play around. Try to see if I can get him to mess up. He doesn't. He seems to watch pretty carefully. He's making a bolt for the door, but he does have the dead hard, which means he's able to do this. So what I do is run past a bit, try to bait him into going this way, but I would admit a little bit too far and didn't manage to block the window in time, which means we're back to this position again. And I make the same mistake of going to the long side instead of the short side of the loop. Which gets him right back around, so I decided to go ahead and break the pallet. He runs out the door and leads me directly into an injured Jane. Now I have two people on the ground. Picking up and hooking them both leads us to one person and one hatch. Will I find either first? I'll go ahead and speed this up for a second to show you. I do find it. It is right here. Go ahead and close that for a second. And now becomes the joy and fun, everyone's favorite part of the game. It's look at one door and look at the other. Once again, I speed this up just to save you 3 minutes. Unlike what Felix did the generosity to me, he did not spare me 3 minutes of time. I looked back and forth, and some of you may be wondering, does he find the Felix? Some of you may be wondering, hey, why don't you just go and look for the Felix? Well, I thought this would be the best way. I thought Felix would have the ability to go out, but his pride at the end, he wanted to die to the entity instead of die to me. Either way, it counts as a victory in my book, so I am more than happy to have this win in the bag. So even with Felix dying to the entity, I got everyone so much that it actually gave me a merciless killer. But we're going to go ahead and jump into the next game immediately. That's Mother's Dwelling. This one you definitely got to go into. Now, I'm expecting not to run into anyone right here off the bat. But
NANI?
as you can see, he was not expecting me to be there either. But I can go ahead and get an easy down on that pallet. Pretty decent pallet right next to a shack, so I count that as a win, and I continue to move on. Take note of my ruin. Ha! Fooled you. Not a ruin. It's actually haunted ground. I get a little bit of lag right here, but I see the Felix running around. I have had an issue with Felix today. I'm going to hide my red glow a little bit, just a tad, enough to get the hit. Now, unfortunately, I get stuck on something right there, and instead of continuing on, I double back, assuming that he doubled back. he didn't. He continued on. I look around for a moment before running back over this way. You see him off in the distance. I'm going to see if he kind of runs out into the open. He doesn't. He doubles back towards the killer shack, so I decide to leave him over there. Luckily, because there is now a Jake up on the this thing here. Now, I do body block him, which is something you want to do often in Wraith if you can. I don't do it as often as I should. I get a nice easy hit. And now I do know that someone's over at this gen over here, so I go ahead and leave him. I can secure a hit on someone else. It happens to be a Meg on a generator. It's combining the pressure. You're switching targets. You're moving constantly. Unfortunately, I do lose Meg here. I'm looking around for her a little bit, but I don't really find her. So I'm going to go ahead and kick the gen and move on. We did lose one generator in the process, though, so I'm going to kind of continue on. Go take a look again and see that someone is on. I'm expecting the stairs to be on that side again. Another mistake. But I do make it up there in time to contest the generator. He's wanting me to fall off, but I don't fall for it. And instead, I make him fall to the ground. He does try a little cheeky thing to try to avoid getting picked up, but it is not success. You can hang out right here. And now I bet you're wondering, can I kick it? Yes, I can. So I'm going to be continuing on, though, towards the, kind of looking around. I'm speeding the section up because I don't really find anyone for a while, but I do eventually run into a Yui. Did you see she was just healing the other person I had on this thing. So I get a hit and a wasted pallet. I get to break this pallet. That's one less for me to use in the future. So that's the perfect chase that you can have. About 10 seconds. But you move over here to this next one, get another hit on a Meg, and notice that the Jake is still hanging around. Expecting him to still be there. He is nearby, but I move over here, cut him off. He's running towards the window, and I get a lovely hit right there. Now everyone's injured. I'm getting some thanatophobia benefit. Can I kick it? Yes, I can. So I'm going to kind of continue on, though, now, chasing somebody else. Here's the Meg here. I should be backing up at this point, but I do wait another second to get the backup. She paused right there. I do expect her, though. I thought that was a little weird. I'm expecting her to have dead hard, and that it just actually messed up. So I make a mental note of that potential dead hard. I move over here now, knowing that someone's on this generator, and they've already moved off of it. They're right here by this pallet. Unfortunately, I could get her right here, but I get caught on this this wood pile, unfortunately, and don't manage to get her down. I do bait out her dead hard with a dig of my bell, and once again, I get caught on a bit of wood. So if you're ever on this loop, be careful. It does snag you if you hold too close to it. So unfortunately, I don't actually get her down here, which will play into the game later on. But I do get a down on the Jake right here soon after, so it's not too much wasted time. And Meg actually even picks up over here, and it allows me to have an easy hit. Running back over and getting the Jake, and picking him up and putting him right over here. Now you'll notice that was my haunted ground activation. I don't know who activated it, but I definitely thank them, because now everyone's going to be worried about getting the Jake. The two people injured probably will not, but Felix would be. Or so I thought. He actually jumps down right in front of me, nowhere to go. Easy hit. Pick him up and go and get him on a hook right there. Moving on, though, swiftly along. You see someone over here in the distance, but I do see some scratch marks closer, so I kind of go explore them for a second, only to end with the Yui. Now, she doesn't have the pallet that she lost previously, so she dead-hearted up and fell down. I can go in and get her picked up. Now, this would have been her second hook if I did get her the first time, but unfortunately, it is only her first. I kick the gen and continue to move on in exploration. Felix gets saved immediately, so I know there are 2 people at least over here, but I'm going to go up here and kick the Jin first. Can I kick it? Yes, I can. Continuing on, I find Jake healing a Meg. I'm going to go after the Jake because I saw him actively healing the Meg. I know he doesn't have a DS, and I don't want to tunnel the Meg. Picking him up, immediately hanging him out to dry. But now I know there are also at least 1 to 2 people over in this direction. I kind of go around the other way so I can use the trees as a line of sight to block me so I can get closer. Obviously it worked, and I get a down on the Meg. Meg was the one healing, and Yui was the one that was just up. It makes the most sense that Meg would no longer have DS, and I would not be tunneling Yui. Immediately finding out, can I kick it? Yes, I can. Moving on, looking around, trying to find someone. Now, this is a mistake that I'm making right now. I'm going to check this generator, and I actually go and I kick it. I should not be kicking this generator. It is barely touched, and I shouldn't check this locker, but I didn't know they weren't there. I contemplated checking some more lockers, but decided at the end of the day I need to get out of here, which I should have done earlier, because that allows them a free unhook and a free full heal. Going around here, I see that there's a Felix right over there. So I decide to run on up. I assume he's going to stay there by that corner where he can see me, so I get a free kick on that generator. And what I should do is stay back there and unding. That's bad map awareness on my part. He gets an easy hits an easy ledge and is immediately out of here. So I decide to leave him, as I was the right decision. Checking this generator to make sure they're not there anymore. Checking a few different areas, trying to see where they're at, and once again is another big mistake, but is also in hindsight. Coming over here to check to see that no one ran over here, because if they did, that would have been an easy down from the pallets I removed from that section earlier, but unfortunately it is not, and it's a waste of time. But instead I do get to go up here and get a hit on the Felix, who is now fully aware of my presence. I body blocked him a little bit. You see a little bit of a teabag right there. I didn't notice it in the original gameplay, but after editing, I did. I see him right here. He jumps out the window, and I make a mistake by trying to catch him out, but he doesn't fall for it. He runs and doubles back. So I, of course, make a massive error. I should stay in my cloak until I'm right up on them, but I want you to learn from what I say, not what I do. Actually learn from both. So they're both actually on this generator, so I'm going to go ahead and take a hit on the Yui. Find out, can I kick it? Yes, I can. And then continue to move on and go for the Felix. Now, since I am right up on him, he dead hards, but it doesn't matter. He does get down. I can move over here, put him right up on this hook to hang out to dry. Moving right on over, though. Checking the gen, it hasn't been touched again. Unfortunately, they both had the map awareness, potentially by being on comms, to go over here. But what must go up must also fall down, and Yui is going to fall down. Twice, in fact. And then I feel a little bit bad about that, so I go ahead and put her up somewhere else. Might not be where she wants to go, but it will be right on this hook. Felix did get down, so I do know that someone is over in this direction. Both of them would be in this direction, so I run over here. They're both on the generator. Knowing what the objective is, I get a hit on the Meg. Go over and find out, can I kick it? No. Actually, it turns out I can. What I should do here at this point, though, is continue on to look for the Felix. He is on second hook, and they're not anywhere by a gen. However, I do make the mistake of going over after them, where I do get a down on the Meg by baiting a dead hard with my bell. See, that's where the idea of her having it from earlier comes into play. So here's the mistake, is that I didn't go after him earlier, allowing him to finish that gen, and he also had adrenaline, so the second mistake is to continue chasing him. Right here, I go for a 50-50. I should have guessed by his body language he was going to do that, but I didn't. I made the mistake, and I continued on. I should have left to go after Yui from way earlier, but because I didn't, she actually gets the door open relatively soon. I'm sorry for spoiling it, but it's right here. Now both me and Felix know the door is open. So he's wanting to try to get there. I'm trying to stop him. And right now, I'm basically giving up hope. He has now escaped. I try to cut him off by going around. It does throw him off a little bit because he does look behind him to see. You can see right here. But I tried to body block him, but I can't in time, and I get a hit on him. I bet he feared that I had Rancor for a moment, but I actually do not. And at this point, he is all free. All he has to do is walk through that door. But of course, he stops to do a little bit of teabagging.
It was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.
And fuck up he did, because I get to pick him up right here. His own teabagging is actually what caused him to lose, which is always a joy when that happens. At this point, a little bit of a toxic return, because I can, dinging the bell a little bit right in his face. Probably not the nicest thing to do, but I enjoyed it. So the game ends, I get a ruthless killer, but me and Yui both have a good laugh at his expense. So if you want to watch me get better constantly and help give me tips, feel free to do that in the comments down below. Or if you can go over to twitch.tv/TheUnknownEpics. I'm typically live a couple times a week, but that schedule will be once again down below. If you are new to the channel, please be sure to click that subscribe button and the little bell notification to make sure you're aware of any and all content that comes out from this channel. You could also be sure to click that like button and let me know down below which killer you want to go next. Once again, I've been the Unknown Epic, and that's a wrap.